Frank Sesno joins us to provide insight on Biden's announcement. He's the Executive Director of the George Washington University Alliance for a Sustainable Future. Great to have you on the program this evening. Now, donors, lawmakers, even the public have been calling for a change. Is Kamala Harris that change?
Well, it's hard to know whether she will be the change that brings ultimate victory, but she is a very big change from Joe Biden's candidacy. Biden, as he displayed in the debate, simply wasn't present. It was a disastrous debate. He was fumbling and he was unable not only not to complete a sentence, but to land a real blow on Trump. And the concern exploded in the Democratic Party that he just had no path to victory. Harris changes this very dramatically. She is, as was just pointed out, she's a female candidate at a time when that actually may resonate in more ways than when Hillary Clinton became the first woman to run for president. And I say that because of the Supreme Court decision on reproductive rights and because of the comparison that she's got against a candidate, Donald Trump, who has been so outspoken and so controversial with respect to his attitude toward women. She also, as a former prosecutor, can, they say, land some real blows. And one of the things that Biden had been unable to do was really attack convincingly the very controversial elements of the Trump campaign and his track record and his convictions, his felony convictions.
Right.
So I think the answer here is yes, it changes things very dramatically.
Now, we know that more and more senators are endorsing Kamala Harris. It's not guaranteed, though. Barack Obama hasn't endorsed her. He's pushing for a more open process. Joe Manchin wants to re-register as a Democrat so he can run for president. How much competition is there likely to be, and what risk are Democrats if they don't endorse Kamala Harris? Will there be backlash?
Well, will there be other candidates? There may well be. Will there be the kind of coalescing around them that there's already been around Harris? It's very hard to see how that happens. Most of the delegates who were going to the convention that's going to nominate the president, was going to nominate Biden, they were committed Biden-Harris delegates. So to get them to peel away from Harris and go someplace else now seems like a tall order. At the money that she's got, because it was a Biden-Harris ticket, she now has access to the campaign money, the millions of dollars, nearly $100 million in the bank. What happens to those who challenge? I don't think much unless it becomes really ugly and nasty. It may be that what Barack Obama was signaling in his message, where he did not endorse Kamala Harris, was not that he didn't want to support Kamala Harris, but he wants to make sure that there is an appearance of some open competition, that it's not a sort of palace coup and suddenly Kamala Harris is the heir apparent without any other voices saying anything else. It's very hard to imagine, though, how at this late stage and where we are in the political process, given the convention, it's just a month away, that there could be a very meaningful candidacy that would take root and push her aside at this point.
Especially with the buzz that's happening around her name at the moment, too. So in regards, if she gets the ticket, where can she make gains where Biden can't? Will she win back some of those Super Tuesday voters that were lost in states like Michigan and Minnesota, for example?
Well, she's going to have to try. And in a lot of these races, Biden was seeing eroding support among women, among black voters. Well, she's a woman and she's a black woman, and there's a strong bond there. Biden was trying to make a great deal out of the Supreme Court decision on reproductive rights. And he wasn't doing it very effectively because he just wasn't very articulate. She comes along, if she can make a strong case, being a woman herself, that may be resonant, that may really work. There's a slice of this electorate. I mean, this is a very close election, even with the erosion that Biden has seen in many of these battleground states. It's within the margin of error. So what she's going to be trying to do is going for that targeted group of people who may have just felt that Biden was not competent, that they lost faith in him. Polls repeatedly show that Democrats themselves did not think he was up for a second term. And that's the group she's going to try to reignite and re-engage.
And in the first hour of the announcement of Biden stepping down, the Democrats raised $5 million, so that will only continue to rise. How much does money play in this game, especially this late in the stage, and given that the Trump campaign will be on hard attack trying to, blacken her name in the weeks and months ahead? ahead. How much money can money change things?
A lot. Because what they've got to do now is they've got to do everything from recast the campaign, cut new television ads, print new posters that go up on yards all across America. They've got to redeploy their forces. She's going to need to bring in some of her own anyway, campaign officials. I doubt she's going to remake the whole thing, but she's going to want to put her imprint on that. And then there's a whole Get Out the Vote campaign where people are working on the streets, and some of those people get paid because they're working for the campaign. Many are volunteers, but some are paid, and all this costs money. She's also got to get into the media. She's got to reintroduce herself. She's got to say what she stands for. That's going to cost money because those spots, those video spots, need to be cut, and then they need to be placed, and that's a very expensive thing, especially in some key battleground states where ads are just expensive because the market is expensive. So they need money. They also need money because Trump has soared with the amount of money he's raised since he was shot and since his convention. And now the Biden folks actually find themselves with some catching up to do there, or the Harris folks now. So money is going to be critical. That's the way American elections are run and paid for.
Sure. Sesno, we'll have to leave it there. Really appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.